Today, I will cover all the recent news that dropped in sports within the last 24 hours. Welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron and today I got a good sports talk prepared. I hope you're all having an awesome day because I am, and we're going to get into it right now. First things first, guys, normally when I do this on a Wednesday, like I have usually Monday, Tuesday, kind of all gathering together, but like the world of sports dropped some pretty big news on us, or rumors and like etc. in the last few minutes. At the end of this video as well, I'll give kind of a March Madness take. Prepared. This video will be a little lengthy today. I'm going to try to get to the point very quickly on all of these takes that I have on all these different stories. And of course, stay tuned. March Madness little take at the end of today's video. Let's start with Andy Dalton agrees to a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Bears. Another one of the quarterback dominoes has fallen. Andy Dalton will sign with the Bears, so told Adam Schefter. The 1-year, $10 million deal that carries an additional $3 million in incentives, Schefter reports. We heard earlier that the Bears were interested and they were able to get something done. Andy Dalton, of course, was really the primary quarterback for the Cowboys last year when Dak Prescott got hurt, but Dak Prescott is back. Dalton's looking into other options as a free agent, and the Bears needed a quarterback. The Bears will be kind of trending today in the news world around the NFL. So you know what they said? They said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to hop on board. We're going to get Andy Dalton. A pretty good pickup in my opinion because Andy Dalton is a decent quarterback. I don't know if it's really going to help the Bears much. Trubisky, Foles, Dalton, I kind of throw them into the same category, so I'm not very much understand why they signed Dalton versus someone else that's on the market, but that's one less team that's looking for a quarterback in the draft this year, so that's one of the more large dominoes that has fell because we did know that the Bears were looking into getting someone like Russell Wilson, which will come up at the end of this video. But Dalton makes sense, I guess, probably someone from the draft we were expecting, but you know, the Bears, this makes a lot of sense in my opinion, so we'll see how it all goes, but Seahawks, the Bears have picked up Andy Dalton. The Seahawks reportedly shut down Bears' Russell Wilson push. This is the second story of the day. The Bears made a move to address their uncertain quarterback situation Tuesday afternoon, which now isn't uncertain, it's pretty certain now. But Chicagoans likely wanted, but Andy Dalton has connected to offensive coordinator, but Chicago was very aggressive Russell Wilson pursuit. Adam Schefter reported this the other day that the Bears have been a team most closely connected to making a run at the somewhat disgruntled Seahawks, but Seattle has thus far rebuffed any trade requests. The Seahawks informed the Bears that they are not trading Wilson at this time. At this time is one of those key words that they told the Bears. At this time, we're not trading him. This could mean that there is a push from Russell Wilson to the front office to go. It could also mean that the front office is open to any and all his decisions. There's also a story that broke from NBC today that said that that little offer that we thought the Bears offered wasn't so little. It was a very large offer for Russell Wilson. They didn't really get into much extentives. This was Dan Patrick. He told NBC, his affiliate with NBC, and he was told that it was a very large offer from the Bears, whatever that kind of means, that came in for the Seahawks. But the Seahawks did say not at this time. The Bears kind of took that and said, well, I need a quarterback at this time. I'm not feel confident in the draft, so I'm going to go pick up Andy Dalton, which was pretty smart on their part. The Seahawks, on the other hand, said not at this time. That really leads me to say that Russell Wilson is pushing at the front office to go. That would be the only decision I can think of. I don't understand why Russell Wilson is pushing to go, and I don't see why the Seahawks front management and the Seahawks management would say, guess what? We're just letting you go out the front door. That wouldn't make many sense. And I'm thinking the NFL is falling for me. The NFL is turning too much into the NBA in a sense, where it's very quarterback driven. I don't like that. I don't like how the NBA is very much player driven. That's one of the reasons I don't like the NBA so much, is because it's very much player driven. The players get to pick where they get to go. That's good to an extent. The NFL should not be like that. I don't see the NFL becoming like that, but it easily can. And with a quarterback like Russell Wilson pounding at the Seahawks front office to let him go, or Deshaun Watson comes to mind as well, telling Houston, I want out of here, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. Well, Deshaun Watson just yelling, I want out. But the Texans say, we're not letting you out. And then Deshaun says, well, I'll sit. And the Texans say, that we don't care, you can sit. That's what I think should happen. If you're not in a contract year and you're asking to be released, or you're going to sit, then sit. Sit a year. We'll find somebody else, but we're not letting you go. And I think that's important to understand here. With Russell Wilson, he's not in a bad place. He's still in a Super Bowl contending team right now. So for me, it doesn't make much sense why he would want to just get up and go. But we'll see how this goes. But it really says that we're not yet. Now we know he's not going to go to the Bears. But with the word not yet being used, he could go anywhere else. And the NFL legal tampering period has been very much a interesting one to start. Tiger Woods shares status update on his recovery. He provided a statement. This is from Tiger Woods, so I'm going to read the statement to you guys, and we'll kind of react to it here, because remember, he was in a pretty bad car accident. So here we go. This is from Tiger Woods. Happy to report that I am back home and continuing my recovery. I'm so grateful for the outpouring of support and encouragement that I have received over the past few weeks. Thank you to the incredible surgeons, doctors, nurses, and staff at Harbor UCLA Medical Center and Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. You have all taken such great care of me, and I cannot thank you enough. I'll be recovering at home and working on getting stronger each day. Tiger. That is from Tiger Woods. Very good news that he is back home and recovering at this point in time. That's good news, I think, for all of us. You know, being in that car accident, we thought that, and you know, there's still, we know he's not going to play in the upcoming Masters. Will he ever play golf again? That is another story for another time, but grateful to see that Tiger Woods is doing good at this point, and that's good news for that side of the thing, because you know, him being well is good, and hopefully a fast recovery for him. So that's just a quick follow-up on the Tiger Woods story. And now to somewhat breaking news from this week. For me, Boston fan, and it doesn't just affect Boston fans, it affects a lot of things. We're going to talk about LeBron James. Not really talk about LeBron James here on this show, but LeBron James is officially became a part owner of the Boston Red Sox, which doesn't make sense to me why it would be the Boston Red Sox. We'll kind of talk about that in a second. But Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James used to annoy Cleveland Indians fans when he would rock New York Yankee gear as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And yeah, so Michael Silverman of the Boston Globe reports that James and business associate Maverick Carter became partners in Fenway Group and thus are part owners at the Boston Red Sox. The amount of ownership shares obtained by James Carter isn't known as of this afternoon. So, in 2011, LeBron James accepted a 2% stake in Liverpool through a business deal. This investment increased value from $6.5 to $44 million. Now, Redbird Capital invests in $750 million in LeBron James has been named a partner. So this is pretty big, because I heard the report the other day that this thing isn't just Fenway Park, isn't just the Red Sox. I believe it's Nesson. I also believe it's Roush Fenway Racing as well, because it's a whole group here. Those are the two that stuck out to me when I heard that. Nesson, Roush Fenway Racing. All three of these are now supported by LeBron James. For the NASCAR side of things, LeBron James being a somewhat owner of Roush Fenway Racing is pretty awesome. But for the Boston Red Sox, it doesn't make much sense why he would put a share into the Red Sox after we saw, I mentioned it before, you know, in Cleveland when he rocked the Yankees equipment, it wasn't really a cool thing. And Massachusetts, the enemy of the state, is got to be the New York Yankees. Of course, when we get to the Massachusetts 50 States of Sports, we'll definitely talk about that. But LeBron holding that stake there, for me, is very interesting. Very intriguing, I think we should say there, because him holding that stake means, is he now, like, going to move to Boston after his career is over? Like, I don't, it makes it very interesting to me that he went to the Fenway instead of going to, like, an LA team where he plays, like the Dodgers or someone like that. That's what interests me. I don't really know the legitimate of this. Like, I don't know all the facts. I don't know why. Like, I don't think anyone knows why at this point. LeBron James really hasn't came out and told us why, but this is a big name getting involved in another sport, getting involved in shares, and maybe setting up somewhat of a retirement plan of what he wants to do with his retirement, ownership in the NBA possibly. It's a lot going on here, but I'm very interested in this, let's say, and I'm going to keep following this. And if some more news breaks on this story, I'll be here to break it down, I think, because it's a pretty interesting thing here. So, yeah, let's head on to the next story here. Quarterback Cam Newton, yes, Cam Newton, he got re-signed to the Patriots. I did never mention a video about it. Like, it would be kind of like a rage video as a New England Patriots fan. But we're not going to do a rage video today on this decision. We're just going to talk about what Cam Newton said about all the recent Patriot outbreak and drafting. So before I say what Cam Newton said, I did want to say that the Patriots have been on a spending spree after the legal tampering period opened up. The Patriots are on a roll there. They're definitely getting some new players here. And because of Cam Newton being signed as quarterback, a lot of fans here in New England, and maybe it's different because the public media has really different than the local media, has a different perspective than the local media. I've watched most of the Patriots game last season, and we've talked about it right here on the show, that Cam Newton absolutely stank in those games. He was terrible, and I thought that was kind of like known all over the place. Apparently, it's not. And I was a little bit like, really? Like, I thought this was known all over the place. I thought that Cam Newton was, like, on the way gone, but he was definitely disappointed, and now he is with the Patriots another year that you know, it was a very interesting decision by the New England Patriots. But Cam Newton, for the first time, spoke out about this. The MVP from 2015, by the way, and that's what kind of shocks everyone, how bad he performed. Newton made it clear that he was happy with the moves being made. Cam Newton posted a video on his Instagram. From there, he wrote, "When you realize things are really different the second go around," he captioned a video of him walking into the Patriots team facility. Newton had plenty of resources to be excited about the second year in New England because he's definitely got a lot of people to throw to. But can Cam Newton do it? Drop it down in the comments. I don't think he can. I think we're going to have another bad year, but he's got a lot more weapons now, and we'll see what goes on there. I mean, I think that's just something to talk about. And free agency, all this craziness is coming to an end, and the draft is coming up. When it comes to the draft, guys, I'm going to kind of react to some mock drafts, kind of make some picks off of those mock drafts. It's impossible for me to make my own mock draft, guys. It would take a while, and it's basically impossible to get anything right. So I'm going to kind of react to some professional mock drafters and make my kind of picks off of those guys. So anyway, that's not the end. I want to make a quick March Madness pick. Those of you on this channel know I think I made 2 NBA videos in all of the history of this channel, but it is an all sports channel, and with March Madness coming up, I thought to talk a little bit about it. You know, I introduced shorts just a while ago on the channel, and I think for March Madness, be prepared for some shorts to be back because I'm pretty pumped up for March Madness. I'm not really a big basketball guy, haven't really been one. I don't really watch it, but I always watch March Madness. I fill out some brackets, and, you know, I'm not going to do a bracket here on the channel live, or, you know, I'm not going to do one to post on video. But anyway, I think for maybe some quick general game reaction videos, you can find it on quick shorts. So turn on post notifications, because I'll post like a 1-minute review of the game or something, or what I thought of the game and who's advancing and whatever. I don't know if I'll do videos like this for it yet, but you never know, so you really stay tuned. Anyway, though, I want to have a quick take on March Madness, and this is my big take on the Madness. These teams have not played out of division with the recent COVID-19 pandemic. These teams have just not played out of division, so you guys, I'm telling you right now, when you're making your brackets, because you got a few days left, and you're sitting on your couch and you're like, these teams haven't, who am I going to pick to win? I wouldn't pick much number 1 seeds because you don't know what the number 1 seeds are doing. Granted, ladies and gentlemen, I did pick a number 1 seed in one of my brackets just to see how it's going, but that's just one of them. It was a quick one I did yesterday. They're just like, I kind of flew by, picked the teams that looked good. I have one much more in-depth one that I'm doing tonight, but I wanted to say that, like, you got to understand that none of these teams, we don't know how any of these teams play when they're not playing the same group of people in the same division. That's important as well, because we don't know what these teams can do at a division. We don't know how these teams kind of fare in division, out of division, with different teams that they aren't used to playing. Plus, big guns are out of this tournament. The most one that comes to mind is Duke, out of this tournament, always one to get into the mix. So sure, I wouldn't be shocked to see number 1 seed win. I'm sure number 1 seeds will go to the end. I'm looking at number 2, maybe a number 3 seed, maybe a 4 seed even, to really, maybe really a 4 seed to show themselves, or maybe even a 5th seed really, to show themselves out of here and be a team that you didn't expect, but you should have expected, because they're pretty mint. But we have not seen them play out of division yet, and when we see them play out of division, it's going to be crazy. I'm excited for the Madness. I don't know about you guys. It's March. Cannot wait for that. That kicks off tomorrow, guys. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, turn on post notifications, give this video a like. I always love making these. I have a video Friday. It's actually an NFL tier list of all the teams, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, I will see you guys Friday with another video. Peace.